the number 515-605-9376. Lynn Littlejohn, like I said, she has been a very extraordinary and very impacting to me in social media. I met her when I became a part of the J. King Network, doing Blog Talk Radio. We were co-hosts together on Cool Critics, the show Cool Critics. And she's just been that type of individual. She is the pastor's ex-wife. She can be listed among the world's elite motivators, encouragers, and supporters. And despite tracking through a raging river of tears across a gloomy desert of despair and over a grueling mountain of criticism, by way of religious duty, delusion, and domination, she somehow managed to break away from the traditions, expectations, and control in order to live her own life. She was persuaded by virtue of her awakening to chronicle her journey from vulnerability to enlightenment, to triumph in her graphic tell-all book, The Pastor's Ex-Wife. She was raised Church of God in Christ, a preacher's kid. And then she became a pastor's wife, which resulted in divorce after 25 years of marriage. She has 2 adult children and 6 grandchildren. Her evolution has led her into an unorthodox manner of delivery. Her journey, as it continues, has caused her to do a 180. She now has gone private with regard to her spirituality, as she believes spirituality is a private matter of the heart just between her and God. She's no longer caught up in man-made religious rhetoric or the dogma of religion. She's completely out of the box. She heard God tell her that he was proud of her decision to go private. Lynn Littlejohn advocates for women all over the world and children alike. Her second book, I Am the Boss of My Own Body, is for children. This book was designed to make children bosses by age 5. They should have a clear understanding that there are proper touches that no one is exempt from the possibility of violating their body, and if so, they are to tell somebody. So, without further ado, presenting to others and introducing to some, the very lovely, talented, brash, sassy, outspoken Miss Lynn Littlejohn. Welcome, Lynn. Your mic is open, I think. Let me see. Hold on.
There we go. Thank you for having me.
Mic open?
That's me. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. Wow. So, what's been up with you since the last? Now, I've been off social media, and so I haven't seen you, but I look over Gina's shoulder a lot, and I see you on social media, and I have her talk to you in my stead, to let you know I'm paying attention. So how's it been since, what have you been up to, the book, your life? What's been going on? Then I want to talk about that video. But please, tell me what brought on The Preacher's Wife, the book, or The Pastor's Wife, ex-wife rather, and, how did that begin?
Yeah.
What inspired you to do that?
Okay, all right. Well, again, thank you for having me. I appreciate it a lot. I am the one and only Lynn Littlejohn, pastor's ex-wife. I was raised up in the Church of God in Christ, SEMI, which is known to most as Pentecostal holiness. with the long dresses, the no makeup, the heel and toe in, and no jewelry. I never went to a prom, and I'm not sounding like a woe is me story, but it is what it is. I was raised up, walked down to the altar at the age of 10 to give my heart to Christ. To be real honest, because I was actually scared, shitless. I'm sorry, I was scared when I viewed the burning hell. So the better part of my life, when everybody else was what I call living life, I was in the church. 7 days a week, we went to church. And the way that I am is that if my heart is in it, my whole self is in it. So from a very little kid, I gave it my everything. Gave it my everything. What do you mean, Lynn? I was trying to get back to heaven. I wanted to make it to this place called heaven. All right? We were, in my era, in my day, back in, I'm going to say around 1980, somewhere in there, I wasn't the only one that got married young. There was a lot of the ladies, a lot of the girls in the church. We all was getting married. So many weddings around there. And it was because we were taught that you would obtain the favor of God if you had a man. So do I want the favor of God? Absolutely. And so we all went out, we were on a hunt. And the first man, any man walk in the church, it's like the women became vultures. Let me just go ahead and stop and say this real quick, is that I have a lot of people don't too much care for my journey, or too much care for my evolution, or too much care for where I am. But please understand, this is a me, myself, and I situation, all right? And I'm sharing what I see through my lens and what I've gone through. So, the women, we became vultures. As soon as a man walked in the church, that's God sent him in there. That's a God sin. And so I was married at 19 years old. Please understand, after only knowing this person for 4 months, I married him. Yes, it lasted for 25 years. And within that 25 years, I adopted my children, my daughter at 3 weeks old, my son at 8 weeks old. Within that period of time, we pastored Breakthrough Ministries for 16 years. And I'll give my own self props. I was second to none when it came down to being the first lady. All right? Now, you asked the question, how did I get from there to writing the book? After 25 years of marriage, then I realized, it took a long time, but so what? I realized that I didn't really even matter. I was just a trophy. I was just a fill-in. And I wanted to get out. And that's when my awakening started to happen. I realized that I had given all of these years to something that didn't make any sense to me at all. And I began to just write. Actually, what I did was I began to talk and record recording videos. And then I handed it to my editor, and she turned it into the book, The Pastor's Ex-Wife. And I do wear that X as a badge of honor. I got out of that marriage right into another marriage. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Could you hear all that I said earlier?
I heard you.
Okay. I want to make sure I'm being heard. Look, I want to make sure I'm being heard. got right out of that marriage into another marriage. And that marriage lasted 9 years. I really don't care what anybody has to say about Lynn Littlejohn, because I've given 34 years into the marriage arena, and I'm very much qualified to talk about it, to speak on it. Yeah. I have to say that the second man that I got involved with, he also was raised in the church, but he wasn't in the church, trust and believe. But it took someone like him to show me my worth and my value. And then I went from there to writing my other book, I'm the Boss of My Own Body. To everyone listening to me, your child should know that they are the boss of their own body and that no one is exempt from violating them. Family members, preachers, teachers, coaches, brothers, sisters, nobody is exempt from violating them. Kind of got me upset with what happened with Bishop Ellis, but I guess we'll talk about it later. But anyway, Sammy, that's how I began to write my book.
Yeah.